Terry Jacobson, Marketing Artfully. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about how to figure out what to sell on Etsy. This works on eBay. This works on eBay. This is how to figure out what to sell, right? But I want to start first with selling what you love. So I have a Pally Wally who doesn't care what she sells. She will find anything. She will sell hiking boots and lighters and hats and things like that. And she's actually really good at it. It's the loving what you sell does not apply to her. So if it doesn't apply to you and you are really driven by the fun and the e-commerce and the sales of it all, then just disregard this one. But for me, I love old metal, rusty tackle boxes, old tools. I love really cool decor. I like brass. I like all kinds of really neat things. And so I tend to enjoy going shopping at places that have that. I like going to antique auctions, and I like going to estate sales, and I like going and checking out all the different things that are at the thrift store. If you put a gun to my head and said I had to sell all clothing like some of the people do, and that's going to be your Etsy, eBay life, oh my gosh, just stop right now. I wouldn't want to sort it. I wouldn't want to clean it. I wouldn't want to, take pictures of it, and then I'm shipping it out. I know that some things work well for different people. So for you, you may be thinking, oh my gosh, I don't want to figure out how to box up a globe in a little stand that you're selling for 15 bucks. That's crazy. But for me, that is what I like. So figure out first what you like to sell, okay? The second thing for me is what can you store? So when I lived at our last house, oh my gosh, my storage, my photography light was much better, but my storage was horrendously worse, okay? And there was just not enough room in our house that I could have done this business that I'm doing right now. Right now, I have 3 racks out in the garage, 3 big racks in the garage that I can put incoming items. I can store, all the different funky things that I have. I have my own office area where I can have things. Like right now, I have a whole bunch of stuff prepped sitting over there. So when I get done doing this, I'm going to take product photography of it. There's no way that I could have had this kind of store at my old house. Then I would have been perfect to sell jewelry. My daughter is actually thinking about doing some jewelry sales, and that's perfect for her because she can have all of her inventory in a box that's this big, right? So just try to figure out what will really work for you. Next, think about if you're not selling vintage, if you're making your own stuff, then you want to make sure your efforts are going to go to something, right? Then you really want to sell what is sellable. And today we're going to go to Craft Count right here and find out what they sell. So they have all different kinds of cool stuff. So those are good. Like, just go there. I'm going to put a little note down here to list Craft Count. It is awesome no matter what you are selling. So say you're selling wrap skirts or something like that. Just go to Craft Count. They'll tell you who is the top sellers in those, and you just spy on them, right? There's a whole bunch of information about this in the post. Of course, I will link the post. Then you could also sell what is hip. I have these things. I have these little metal containers that are actual vintage, right? And so there are people, like my husband just bought a vintage rusty sign that's brand new, but there are people that watch, Fixer Upper, do all that want those authentic vintage items. So that's awesome. You can just decide what to do. Okay, the magazines. I have on my iPad an app called Texture, Texture. Texture. I pay $10 a month, and I get every magazine a human being could ever have. If you're selling clothing, it has all the fashion magazines. If you're selling vintage, it has all the houses. If you're selling, stuff for ladies, it has all of the you know, the women's magazines, brides magazines. It has everything that you want. And I love to look at these because every once in a while I'll find something like a camel under a brass, you know, palm tree and think who would buy this? And then I look at these magazines, and the reason why I really loved this was, yeah, if you can find the old things, obviously anybody who does vintage knows that that's going to be something that you're going to be like, wah, wah. But what I did notice is this little tiny paperweight right there. And designers will pay big money for those kinds of things. And so for me, it's really just reminding myself that, you know, what is currently on trend. I just saw something that was really hot, and it was in my store, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And what I'll do is I'll take a screenshot and then I'll post it on my Instagram and say, hey, this is really hot, right? The other thing about this is that you can absolutely see what people are using in the media, in anywhere. So just start watching those trends, start noting them down, see what they call them, right? Like, so I was calling things a lot of different things, and then I was like, oh, they said that's a paperweight. I thought it was a glass globe. And so those are just the kind of things you want to note. And then last but not least, if you're selling vintage or you're selling your own stuff, you want to sell what's available, right? So if you have a terrible time sourcing the materials for your candles, then don't make that the focus of your store. If you can't find jewelry findings that that are for your top selling product and you're always stressed about that, don't do that. But especially for vintage, sell what is available. I came from Denver, so I have a lot of old rusty stuff that is in really good shape. So I came down here to Florida. I'm like, I love rusty stuff. Well, come to find out, the stuff in Denver that's rusty is in really good shape because it's a desert, right? But in Florida, the stuff in the nasty old rusty, sheds a lot of times is just ruined. And so I had to really take a look at some of the things that I thought were going to be features in my store and just buy different things. Now, I find amazing different things here, but that's something that you just need to know. What are you able to source for your store? So hopefully that helps. Oh, gosh. This marketing mini course, how to do Etsy market research, that is going to be super good if you found this video helpful. I'm making a note. Tara Jacobson, Marketing Artfully.